Hi ladies, it's Hillary, owner of Free Babes Handmade and blogger at I'mLikeBrave.com, a blog all about living an uncommon life that you love with your family through entrepreneurship. I personally love having one-on-one coffee dates with other entrepreneurs that I admire, and so I thought it'd be really fun to start a weekly series where I get to interview creative entrepreneurs and you get to listen in. From these interviews, you will learn from their successes and their failures, get behind-the-scenes access to see how they built their business, and you'll walk away with valuable insights that will help you take your business to the next level. So grab a cup of coffee and join the conversation. Enjoy! Hi guys, it's Hillary with I'm Like Brave, and I am so excited to be talking with Stacie and Geoff today, co-owners of Alice and Ames. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you guys probably know of Stacie and Geoff, or at least you know of their company because they pretty much like introduced the simple twirl dress and like took the toddler fashion world by storm. So I personally own like 10. And I'm just really excited to get to hear your guys' story. So before we start talking about business, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Of course. I'm Stacie. We live in Arizona, and we have 3 girls, Ivy, Lola, and baby Frances. They're 6, 4, and 1. This is Geoff.
How's it going, guys?
We've been married for 8 years, and we've done this. Alice and Ames just did its 1-year birthday 2 weeks ago. So.
Oh wow! Congrats. Awesome. Yeah. And so what did you guys do like before Alice and Ames?
So before Alice and Ames, we actually worked together as wedding photographers. We started that right when we were married, and I think it was maybe 5 or 6 years that it lasted. And so we loved doing that. It was so fun. It was to work together, be creative. And then Geoff took a new job, and I just had our 3rd baby, and it was just too taxing on the weekends. We were gone all day. So we decided to close up shop, which was sad. But right after, about 6 months after that, Alice and Ames began because I got a little stir crazy. So.
Wow, that's awesome. And what made you go from photography to like children's fashion?
Well, the big thing was we have our middle child is like classic middle child, and she's very stubborn and very opinionated. And so one day I was helping her get dressed, and and I think she might even have sensory issues. She's like, doesn't like anything touching her tight or wearing pants. And so it was just one of those morning battles where it's like, you need to wear something besides pajamas or dress up or like your dance leotard to school today. And that's when I was like, you know what, maybe we can make clothes that both moms and daughters can agree on. Because I feel like there's a lot of clothes that are catered towards kids that are, you know, the graphics and cartoons and tulle and glitter and all that, and there's a lot of clothes just made for adults, which are great, but I don't think kids really love wearing them as much as, I mean, they look really good, cute, but, so I wanted to kind of bridge that gap of what mom likes and what daughter likes and figure out something that was comfortable and fun and playful and classic and sweet, so.
That's so awesome, and I feel like you guys seriously totally did that, because like, kids love these dresses, and I mean, moms obviously do too. And just the fact that you can get those photos of twirling girls all the time is just so sweet.
I love it.
So can you guys give us an idea of the kind of a bird's eye view of your growth from, I guess, a year ago when you first started to where you are now, and give us kind of a glimpse on the points along the way?
So we started with our baby 5 weeks old. And so once I decided, okay, I'm going to do this clothing label, we drove to LA when she was 5 weeks old, trying to figure it out. We were walking on the Garden District, like no idea what we were doing.
It's not super easy to take a stroller through those fabric shops either.
I'm like,
there's not. I've done it.
It was a crazy town. But so anyway, so that's the very beginning. That's like the fetal stage of it. And anyway, so then it started. We were running it out of just our house, and Geoff was working as a commercial broker. I'm missing that right. What were you?
What was I? I did commercial real estate. Yeah. So I was gone from 8 a.m. till 5, 6 p.m. at night, and she somehow managed to hustle everything in through nap time. But.
No, it was fine. But so that lasted probably 5 or 6 months, and then at our 6-month-ish mark, it got too crazy. We actually, I think that's when we had to think about getting a bigger house because we were living in like twirly dresses. So. We signed on a new house that had this like off studio space for our inventory that was going to be our warehouse, which was perfect for us. And then by the time that house actually started being built, we decided to outsource it to a fulfillment center. So at our 6-month mark, we outsourced to a fulfillment center, got rid of all the inventory, and it was like the most amazing thing ever. And then we still had a house being built. So, and then I think at our 9-month mark or 10-month mark, Geoff decided to jump on board on Alex and Ames' team full time. And that's it. We're still running out of our house, so it's just us two. And then our fulfillment center, which is like 15 or 20 minutes away. And that's it.
That's awesome, you guys. So when you first started, were you making the dresses? Did you have seamstresses, or were you like right with manufacturers?
So I started with, and I actually still have my same manufacturer from day one. He's awesome. But we started with one manufacturer. I've never sewed a dress. You guys won't want to be wearing those. And we've just been growing with him, and he's been super supportive and is super helpful because he knows that I don't really know what I'm doing. And so we're using him. We're using the new shipping center, and is there anything else different that would change? No. So yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys are doing like customer service and all of that yourself.
So between the two of us, we do the customer service. We do all the social media. We even do the photography. We do, which I know that's like offensive to all children photographers, because I know there's people that are so much better than us, but we do it anyways because we're cheap.
I think you guys are great.
And he does all the accounting and the customer service, and he's amazing at it. And what else? And that's it, yeah.
I don't know. I've talked to a few companies who made the switch to fulfillment centers, and they said it's just life-changing.
Yeah, we haven't looked back once. And I actually had the biggest struggle because I was like, no one's going to make them as pretty as I do or care as much as I do about it. And I was so nervous about letting go of that control, but they've been amazing. And I'm like, we walked out of there after we dropped off all the inventory one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it was a good feeling.
So you guys have obviously, achieved a lot of success, especially for growing as fast as you have. But can you guys tell us a story about a big failure that you have experienced?
I'll let you answer.
I don't know if we had like a big flop, knock on wood, yet, but I think there's a lot of things that we've done in the past that we didn't realize were failures at the time. And then slowly, as we kind of evolved and learned more, we said, oh gosh, what have we been doing for the last couple of months? Specifically like shipping. We used to spend hours and hours on each order, from generating the label, marking it as shipped, emailing the customer tracking information, taping it out. Like it was embarrassing how much time we spent. But luckily someone introduced us to ShipStation, which is an awesome software that communicates with our shop. And it's just like, when that happened, we didn't realize it, but we've been failing like the last couple of months with the amount of hours we spent shipping. And like once we got that all dialed in, it was just like the time like shrunk down immensely. And then even more so when we handed it off to the fulfillment center. But we're still learning, we're still growing, but that I think was one that we didn't realize at the beginning that was a failure.
And shipping costs.
And shipping costs, yeah. We realized,
We've given away so much money to the Postal Service because we were not doing it smart. And finally our fulfillment guy is like a shipping guru. He's like, look, you were spending so much money that you didn't need to. Like, we were spending more money on just flat craft paper bags that we were first started using. And we are using now on our custom, beautiful boxes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what idiots. So he's helped us out a ton to cut not only actual waste, but shipping costs too, which has been great. So
that's awesome. So you guys kind of just learned that you weren't necessarily doing anything wrong, but like you can reach, if you maybe would have done some research or reached out to people who had done it before you could have avoided like wasting a lot of money.
Yeah,
totally.
I was so excited to just like start when we were in that first planning stages. I was like, I couldn't even sleep at night. Every night I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And so I was just like hustling through it, and then looking back, I'm like, I should have just like pumped the brakes, taken a deep breath, and actually researched everything before exploring all my options before just going for it. So.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. But obviously, like, it just took a little bit longer, but it still worked out. So what would you say has been the best business decision that you've made so far?
I have two-part answer. One, I would say delegating the shipping, because obviously now I can focus so much more on reaching out to people, social media, actually like production, future stuff, and the stuff that I'm really passionate about. And like, I know it's so hard for people to let go of it and delegate things because no one cares about your business as much as you do. Like, that's, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. But for you to have that much more time to focus on what only you can do is so important. My second answer is having Geoff, like, come on Alice and Ames full time, because it's been, like, a party, and he's, like, an awesome addition. So
that's really awesome, guys. It's hard to work with your spouse, and you guys seem like you're loving it.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
And you had lots of experience doing it before with photography, so.
For sure.
Awesome. So if you guys were to teach a college course about entrepreneurship, what would you teach us, and can you give us a little mini lesson?
This is a tricky question because neither of us have either gone to college at all. I'm going to admit that. But I think you start, actually, because I don't know.
I think you just really need to focus on what you're doing individually. I think rather than, looking outward and seeing what everyone else is doing, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to look at yourself and your products and what you're doing. I think with social media and the internet, it's really easy to get caught up in everybody else, but I feel like we found the most success, not only with this business with Alice and Ames, but in the past with wedding photography as well. When we focus less on other people and we focus on ourselves and doing what we need to do to get our stuff done, that's when we were the most productive, and we created the most original, the most exciting stuff that we have, is when we really just kind of put our heads down and work.
Yeah, I think the same. I think a lot of times people get, like, it sounds bad, but take themselves a little too seriously, and it's easy to compare. Like, everyone's guilty of it. But I think if you're not having fun with it, it's going to show in your work. I feel like if you're, like, enjoying it and producing stuff you love and not letting it get you, I don't know, so worked up. I don't know. I think just have fun with it. Don't compare yourself. Work hard.
I think that's the key, though, honestly.
Another motivational quote. I don't know. 80s posters right now.
No, I think that's the key, honestly, with entrepreneurship. The whole goal is to work for yourself. And if you're not having fun working for yourself, you might as well be working for somebody else not having fun. Then you're at least not stressed about it. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Do you guys have any tips, though? Like, it's so easy to say, don't compare, you'll be happier when you don't compare, but, like, actually not doing it in a world where you're spending so much time on social media and everywhere, like, what do you guys do to kind of guard yourself against the comparison game?
I don't know. I feel like we stay pretty busy. I don't feel like we have enough time to do that. But yeah, no, I think it's hard to, like, I don't know.
I think you just want to surround yourself with good content and accept it well. I mean, there's a way to browse social media, to see different things and get inspired from maybe not another dress company, but another, I don't know, like another company that maybe does something else. And, hey, this is a really cool way that they do that. How can we emulate that or incorporate that into our business that would be something original and put our own spin onto it? So I think surround yourself with good content, whether it be books where you can learn, or just fun blogs to read. I mean, I know it doesn't translate very much, but I'm really like skateboarding and snowboarding, and so every now and then I'll see something that a company's doing, and I'm like, hey, this isn't probably going to help us sell dresses better, but I think this is kind of cool. What if we did something like that? And so I think just surrounding yourself with good content and finding ways that you can incorporate it and make it, put your own spin on it and your own touch on it, I think is probably the best way to kind of incorporate that.
Yeah, that's so great. I love that.
We'll see touches of Geoff in our stuff, because there'll be like a pink skateboard going through our photo shoots, or like, I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was recently listening to a podcast, and I forgot who was saying it, but they were saying what helps with comparison is if you remember that, like, each person is totally unique. Like, obviously everyone knows that, but when you compare yourself to someone else, like, you're wasting time, like, when you could be discovering, like, what your unique purpose is. And, like, someone else's success doesn't mean that you're not going to have your own different success.
Was this the Chelsea Handler thing? I saw this video.
It was? Oh, wait. It was. Yes, it was.
I loved it. Yeah, she said, like, what did you say? Someone else succeeding is not going to help you succeed. It's not going to, like, there's no point. It's not like you're getting less chances because they're getting more. It's not even.
Yeah, like, you'll all be different. And so it's just, like, really a waste of time. And that really helped me. I think you might have shared that. So it wasn't a podcast. It was probably your Facebook share.
You're welcome.
But that was really cool for me to read. So, awesome. So, for you guys, like, obviously, I feel like most of the companies I interview, like, Instagram was their only thing because it was just so dang easy for so long to just be able to post and get exposure. But for you guys now, like, in this new world where we know Instagram exposure is a little bit less, but there's also other opportunities for us, what is your marketing strategy?
Oh, I don't think I have a strategy. I'm just, like, just winging it. I think whenever I'm seeing things, I feel like I try to just think about what I'm seeing. If I'm seeing something that catches my attention, I'm like, oh, okay, why did this picture excite me? Why do I like this caption? What made me like relate to this? And I try to emulate it in my own post. I'm like, I feel like sometimes people think, oh, you need to post every day or twice a day or whatever your thing is. And I feel like as long as it's not, like, only post what you think is really great content. Don't post just to post, you know? And sometimes I'm guilty of posting just to post because we get so many cute customer photos, so it's hard not to. But I think just making sure all your content is relatable or I don't know, exciting. Anything else?
Yeah, in addition to that, I think when a lot of people think marketing, they immediately go towards social media. I think the best way to capture people is to get an Instagram account, get a Twitter, what have you. But I think some of the best marketing that we've had has just been old-fashioned word of mouth. Like people genuinely being stoked on our product, stoked on our service, and telling their friends. It's so common for us to see, a family where all 4 sisters are all buying the dresses for their daughters because she told her about it, she told her about it. And so just making sure you really nail your product and your customers are genuinely stoked on what you're putting out there and stoked on how well it's being received and packaged and that kind of thing. I think that goes a long way, and it's easy to kind of get caught up in the whole, how many followers do I have, how many people are liking this photo, but when you really kind of get back and focus, hey, if you put a good product out there, people will start talking about it and sharing it. That's kind of what we've been trying to do.
That's awesome. Have you guys read the book, The Purple Cow?
No.
It's like I just read it, but it's an older marketing book, and it's talking about like finding your niche and really not doing what the masses are doing with marketing, but really doing what works for you to like a specific audience. And it talks about like the concept of sneezers, which are like your #1 fans that will tell everyone about you, and just like investing your time and resources and money into those people versus like, let's say $500 in Instagram ads or something. Like take that and do something crazy for like your top clients, because you're right. Like I feel like especially with your product, word of mouth, it seems like it's been great because I told a ton of people about them and they all wear them now. So I just imagine all your clients probably do that with you guys. So figuring out how to even like elevate that level, is awesome.
We're always talking about what we can do for our, like, I know every single person that's come on here and interviewed with you has probably said this. But this is like, we have the best customers ever. Seriously, like,
we do. They're awesome. It's so cool to see names pop back up because they're reordering, not even because they're daughter out group, but just because they're stoked on it and they want another one. And then, it's crazy. We'll see, the same last name a couple streets down and that kind of thing. And it's almost like we've created a community, which kind of seems silly, but around pearly dresses. But I think we really have. And I think people are stoked on it, and it's well received and kind of translated through everybody talking to their friends about it. And we're really lucky that we have the customers we do. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's so awesome, guys. I really can tell from just your brand from an outside perspective, like you really have created that community, and you guys seem so driven, but not the type that just are driven to be driven. Like you really are creating something special and unique, and I just love that.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. So what would you say, like right now at this moment, what's the biggest hurdle you're facing or the biggest struggle you'd like to figure out?
We probably have different answers, so maybe we should both answer. But mine would probably be just like, I'm kind of spaz. I'm sure you gathered that. So I'll always be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm doing this. And so I feel like my biggest hurdle is just calm down and like just figure out what you're doing and don't be all over the place. Don't try to, I don't know, go too crazy. I just feel like, I don't know. What are you saying? Kind of crazy. Kind of psycho.
Like figuring out how to harness it, maybe. Like figuring out how to direct it.
Yeah, I'm just all over the place, and I just need to just calm down.
No, you have a lot of great ideas. It's just you can't do them all today is the problem. Some of them take a little more time.
Sometimes I can't go to sleep because I'm like, no, we're gonna do this. I need to have this launch in 6 weeks. He's like, I'm crazy.
I think forecasting is a bit of a struggle for us. As we look into the future and try to track growth and predict, it's become a little bit difficult. Obviously, a great problem to have, but keeping up with demand and making sure that we're reordering in a timely fashion, keep up with what prints are popular and which ones aren't. Sometimes it's hard to gauge. We have 10 different SKUs dropping. So we have 10 different like solids and prints launching next week for fall, and we don't know. Only 2 of them may be popular, so we may need to reorder just those 2, or maybe what have you. It's kind of hard to gauge what will take off and what customers will receive, and so it's something we're learning as we go, taking customer feedback into consideration to make sure that we're keeping up with demand and continuing to deliver stuff that the customers want to buy.
Yeah. Do you guys do like official like fall lines or spring lines, or are you just kind of releasing?
We are now. We started, our growth I think was kind of crazy at the beginning, and we did not know how to handle it. And so I think I kept restocking, and I'd add new stuff here and there. And so the first like 6 months, I was like every 6 weeks I was restocking and adding more stuff, so it's all over the place. But that's something I'm looking forward to. Now that we've actually hit our year mark, and we kind of have a better like hold on demand, I think we're just doing quarterly drops and trying to keep it more organized and predictable. So.
Cool. So what are you guys most excited about for the future of Alice and Ames? Like, where do you see your business heading and all of that?
I for sure want to add more product, more options. I want to introduce some things for smaller kids, infants, and although don't hold me to it because I've already admitted that I'm all over the place, so I play that out. And I think just gaining more experience. I think the first year has been such like learning curve and all over the place. And I think I like that we kind of somewhat have a handle on kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm just excited to see where it goes. I'm following her wherever she takes me.
Do you guys want to grow it like beyond yourselves, or do you kind of love this phase of just you guys as a team and your?
We actually I feel like we said it a lot. We kind of want to keep it just us, like a family business, as long as possible. We love working from home. That's like in the written interview, I think I said it like 30 times. We just love hanging out together and being with the girls and being home and like running a business from our own walls of our home, and then having like obviously the shipping center and have all inventory there. It's been awesome, and I would love to keep it like this for as long as possible. Maybe one day we'd add like people, like other moms, to work remotely with customer service emails or social media or whatever. But for now, I think we're just going to see how long we can do this without going crazy. So
that's awesome, guys. So we have a few more questions, and I'm calling it the unofficial lightning round because they're just real quick answers. So what is your favorite book you've ever read?
Favorite business book, right?
Yeah, technically, but if not, anything.
I don't know if it's my very favorite, but I just finished it, so I'm going to say Girl Boss because it was hilarious, and I felt like I related to her so much with some things. I actually made him read it right after me at the beach.
Yeah.
And my whole family was like, "Hey, Girl Boss, Geoff, huh? How are you liking that book?" And totally made fun of him, but it's actually super helpful, and it's incredible to see her growth and hear her side of her empire she built. So
I know, I loved that book. She has an interesting past too, and there's some really funny parts.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. What's the best quote you've ever heard?
I'm going to stick with, I always love work hard and be nice to people. So I feel like it's magic. That's all you need in life. I tell kids all the time. It's on their little school folders. So.
Aww. And if you guys could have lunch with any entrepreneur, who would it be and why?
I am going to say Mickey Drexler because I kind of have an old man crush on him. He's so cute, and he seems just kind of quirky and fun, and he loves what he does. So it seems. I don't know. But I just think he's kind of a genius. And the other one, I know his already.
I wouldn't mind meeting Steve Jobs.
Awesome.
But that would require some pretty impressive logistics, maybe time travel to make happen. But.
Yeah. And who is Mickey? I don't know him.
J. Crew.
Oh, okay. Look at me. I live under a rock, I guess.
Just Google Mickey Drexler and there'll be some YouTube videos of him. And he's just like riding his bike to the office, and he'll go down to like a Madewell store and like look at the cut of a T-shirt. He's like, no, why? Like he's so invested, and he'll go actually touch the clothes and work with the employees down to the bottom of the totem pole. And I just think that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to Google him. Okay, so do you guys have any parting advice for all of the people listening, whether they're entrepreneurs already or people who are considering starting their own business?
We kind of covered that in our college course. But I would just say make sure you're having fun and not comparing yourself, and just genuinely loving what you're doing and not taking yourself too seriously, but also not downplaying yourself, because I think I do that sometimes too, and I think that can hurt you just as much.
No, I think the same thing. I mean, when people think entrepreneurship, I think people often think this big glamorous lifestyle where they built this huge empire, and I think people need to realize too that that's not like, at least in my mind, that's not what it's all about. I mean, to me, it's about creating something that is exactly what you want it to be. Whether that is, a business you run with your wife from home and it's just the two of you, or if that is a business where, you have 500 employees or whatever, but just make sure you're creating something that you actually want. Whether that's a product that you're really passionate about, or if it's an industry you really enjoy, whatever it be, make sure you're excited about it and then do it the best you can.
That's so great. I feel like sometimes as entrepreneurs, you can get so caught up in the rat race, just like bigger, better, constantly going. And sometimes you forget, like, wait, this wasn't even what I wanted. This wasn't even why I started. So having that clarity for what you really want, and then knowing when to say, this is good enough, this is where I want it, and to stop, I think that's awesome.
Totally.
Cool, you guys. So where can we find you on the internet?
Well, you can find us on Allison.
Hey, school pickup. I gotta go.
Sorry. Well, I'm in school. Thank you for remembering. AllisonAmes.com. It's a Shopify account. Instagram, Allison Ames. Twitter, @Allison Ames. Although, I don't know. Twitter, is that even still a thing? And then we have Pinterest. What else? I think that's it.
Awesome.
Oh, Facebook. Yeah, Facebook, Allison Ames.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacie. Well, seriously, it was such a joy to get to talk to both you and Geoff and just see you guys together and this brand that you've built, which is so awesome. So thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. I hope we didn't think you regret interviewing us.
No, I loved it, and I hope all of the listeners out there, I hope you guys learned at least one thing from Stacie and Geoff that you can take and implement into your own business this week. So have a good week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.